Welcome back to another rendition of the Don't Take Us Seriously podcast. It's your boy O.
It's DJ.
And the topic for this week's rendition is just a game recap of these AFC and NFC championships. And don't forget, before I get too ahead of myself, to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you got anything, leave us a note. We welcome to hear from y'all. To get into these games, man, these NFC and AFC championships, we're going to start with my personal favorite, the Niners game. We were all hoping for these to be exciting, crazy defensive matchups or crazy shootouts, great games. Both games were anything but that. Pretty shit football for conference championships. It was almost like we got icing with no cake. It was lackluster. It was missing something, a whole lot of something. Both offense, to be precise, or just competitiveness any sort. I don't know how. Actually, I'm lying. I know a lot of y'all felt the way we felt, with the exception of Eagles fans. Obviously, it was just frustrating to watch. My eyes was just honestly. I turned the Niners game off at the end of the second quarter I'm being honest. And then I turned it back on because I just couldn't count my boys out. But it was rough watching Josh Johnson try to find a semblance of himself down 24 points.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say neither of these games had anything. Neither of these games had anything that we would really resemble excitement. It was kind of too bad. This game was just unlucky for the Niners. I know. You guys are probably thinking, I've been down on the Niners all this time and yada, yada, yada. And I've been down on Brock Purdy. I'm not going to come at him, though. This isn't the time for that. Because with this Niners game, man, Brock Purdy got hurt in the first, pretty much the first series. What was it, like 7 minutes left in the game? He gets taken out, and we don't even get a chance to really see what he's capable of doing.
He was damn near hurt on like his third snap, bro. Like, it was rough.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, and it was almost as rough as that Bengals game. It was almost as rough as that Bengals and Kansas City Chiefs game. I get a feeling that the NFL just doesn't like the Bengals, but we're gonna talk more about that later. Let's just stay on these Niners. I can't quite wrap my head around this, that the Niners are gonna really try and pull this off after Brock got hurt. Brock took a hit from Hassan Reddick, and it was pretty much curtain call from there. With the Niners and everything, we thought that maybe they was gonna pull something out after Purdy got hurt. Josh Johnson getting in there, he was able to march a drive down the field and everything, and they scored with Christian McCaffrey. But they ran out of tricks. Shanahan had nothing left in the bag, and it was pretty much it from there. But then the rest of Josh Johnson happened. Josh Johnson was trying his hardest, but he looked like Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. He's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. He been on too many teams, too many practice squads, trying to bounce around the league to try and latch on. And he's got to be thinking in that moment, oh, I'm going up against the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl.
It's to make it simple, bro. Josh Johnson is the backup to the backup to the backup. Like, it's like I don't know what we could have expected. Even the drive where they got points out of it, it wasn't a lot of Josh Johnson going on in that drive.
I mean, it just kind of goes with what I was saying before. With Brock Purdy, I didn't think that he could keep pace with Jalen Hurts. With Josh Johnson, you ain't got a shot in hell. Like, what are you gonna do? You got nothing. You got CMC or bust.
You're gonna have to wait for 90 degrees to pop in hell for Josh Johnson to go out there winning an NFC championship. It was rough, man. It was rough. But like, it sucks. It sucks because this happening doesn't give us an opportunity to conclude our previous discussion on Brock Purdy. It doesn't give us any answers as to the future of the Niners quarterback problems or anything in regards to the Niners. It leaves a lot up in the air, but that's not particularly a topic for today. I don't know, man. I don't know the last time I've seen a team even make it to the NFC Championship down two quarterbacks. To see Josh Johnson come into that game in the first quarter, it was almost like, yeah, I might as well turn this shit off. Before I even watched the man take a snap, I was damn near resigned. This game is going to be a 30 ball because the Niners O-line wasn't getting it done to begin with. And if you got the guy back there that's had your offense looking the best it's looked in years and he can't get it off, what make you think he just put off the streak and get it done? It's rough, man. Like 4 quarterbacks deep.
I just find there's being some irony in this. With Trey Lance, when he was healthy, way back, we thought that he was maybe going to be the guy. He gets gets hurt, and Jimmy G was supposed to be the insurance plan for him if he got hurt. It turned out to be Trey Lance got hurt. Jimmy G gets hurt. Brock Purdy's the next guy up. He plays. He thrives. He gets hurt. Now you got Josh Johnson in there. We can't say that we've seen a team go this far with so much mishap. It's just ridiculous.
Honestly, it's like there's bad luck, and then there's disaster, and then there's that insurance commercial where bad luck just drives through. That's the Niners right now, bro.
Yep.
Like wherever they go, disaster follows. Like, and it's shitty because the last time we got to watch the Niners in the playoffs, they played without 75% of their defense. This year, we got to watch them fight through the adversity in the regular season, get into the playoffs healthy and the best we've ever seen them, and then the injury bug still comes. Say, nah, dog, not today.
Which is really just too sad because we really saw, like you mentioned, a team that this was probably the most talented team that we had seen all year. From top to bottom as a full, complete roster, they had pretty much no holes outside of the quarterback position.
They had it, and it looked like they had an answer for a minute, but didn't seem to pan out. They just couldn't defeat the injury bug. How do you even consider it a fighting chance when you out there playing with an XFL quarterback? Here's the way I equate it, right? It's like if they had a shot in hell with Josh Johnson, he wouldn't even have been on the Niners roster in that moment. Like if he had the talent to get it done in that moment, there's no shot he would have been playing for the Niners. Or rewind, there's no shot we would have seen Brock Purdy, Jimmy Garoppolo, or Trey Lance when the Niners originally brought Josh Johnson in, 10-some odd years ago?
Something else you're forgetting about. You're forgetting about the fact that we got to see Christian McCaffrey throw the ball until the last game because of this situation was so bad. They went through so many quarterbacks. I mean, Josh Johnson, to his credit, I know you want to discount it because he wasn't doing that much, and rightfully so. But Josh Johnson, at one point in time, he actually marched them down, and they actually were able to score. And they looked like they were getting on board. They were starting to right the ship a little bit, and then he gets concussion. We got Christian McCaffrey on the sideline looking at plays with Kyle Juszczyk. What is going on here? Like, he's getting a helmet with an earpiece in it because he might have to be the quarterback. It was just a bad.
The worst part, they had to put Brock Purdy back into the game just to hand the ball off. And then the Eagles was like, can't throw the rock? 9 in the box. Everybody one-on-one. Do your worst.
Yep.
It's just crazy that it took taking every single QB on the roster out to make the Niners look mortal.
Hey, I guess it's just how the cookie crumbles, huh?
That shit's wild, bro.
Yeah.
Like we both said, man, the Niners probably to that point were the best team in the league. And it was a fantastic job as an organization, as a whole, to make it to that point through all the adversity. But best team in the league wins the Super Bowl, and the Niners are no longer that, and they don't have an opportunity. With that, let's get on to the next game. Let's talk about that Bengals and Chiefs game. The Bengals made major mistakes that cost them the game, but they wasn't just playing 11 on the other side of the ball. They was playing 11v15 all game. And it's rough, man, because I wanted Kansas City to win. I truly did. But it pains me to see how much backup from them yellow flags Kansas City had. Granted, Joe Burrow's pick gave up a crucial offensive possession, but it didn't give up points. But good Lord. Like, where was Jamar Chase all game? T. Higgins was going crazy. Tyler Boyd was hurt. Where was Hayden Hurst at? The offensive line played horrible in the first quarter, and then it was like, okay, let's come alive. And then as the game prolonged, Chris Jones was like, relax, bro. I'm still him. All in all, man, all the mistakes and adversity that the Bengals had to face could have easily been overcome, with the exception of the 4 wearing black and white.
I like that you mentioned those 4 because that was the craziest part of this game, bar none. These refs were deciding the fate of this game, and I haven't seen anything like this since the Steelers-Seahawks play a Super Bowl way back when. You know, the old offensive pass interference on the quarterback. Come on now, like it was just too many plays that were going on that the refs were intervening with the flow of the game. Let me just kind of go this down the road with you. They gave 5 downs to the Chiefs on one possession, on one drive. How do you do that? On the third down, down. They give them a penalty on the Bengals. All right. So then they replay the down. They get another penalty the next one. So you really are gonna keep giving them chance after chance just to kind of march down the field and do what you're gonna do. All right, that's weird, but whatever. Then we get stuff like this. Like, we've never seen a game be so rigged in this fashion. That had such strong playoff implications. Like I mentioned earlier, the Bengals just seem to have it out, from the league. Like it just seemed like Roger Goodell's just sitting up there in his tower, like, do whatever you got to do, get him out of here. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, what? Like, I lost count of how many first downs were given to the Chiefs from Bengals penalties. Like, this is crazy.
But it's like, this ain't even the first time the Bengals have seen this level of like adverse bullshit. Because remember last year in the Super Bowl, third down on that crazy defensive holding. Listen, I didn't want the Bengals to win to begin with, but just like, Jesus.
I'm glad you mentioned that, though. I'm glad you mentioned the penalties. You kind of leapfrogged me into this. Let's start with the first one. We got we got the pass interference that kind of came out of nowhere, which is just like, okay, that's kind of weak. That's nothing to go crazy about. We got the next one. Just Joe Burrow intentional grounding that was going on. Clearly, Chris Jones hit him in the hand while he's throwing the ball. Argue with your mama. I saw what I saw. We've got an unnecessary penalty that happened on the Bengals linebacker. Albeit, I'll give you, that was a frustration penalty. That was a lack of concentration, and he deserved that flag. But by this point, the team's demoralized. They've been fighting hard, fighting back, trying to win this game. Joe just wasn't able to get it done when it was his time. But they should have been up way more on this game if the game just wouldn't have been affected by the refs.
Yep. And the crazy part about both of these controversial games for the Bengals. Now, granted, let me say this on tape before I get too far. The Bengals. Both times the lead ref just happened to be Ron Torp. That's wild. To think about the fact that in two monumentally controversial games, the same guy was the lead ref. I don't know what rigged smell like, but I guess I got a taste for the first time in my life. This is wild.
Yeah, and then we even look at what was leading up into this game. Everybody was anticipating, everybody was salivating over, Bills versus Chiefs. That was the matchup that everybody wanted to see. We wanted to see happen. It didn't happen. The Bengals, they stomped out the Bills, rightfully so, last week. It seems peculiar that just when the Bengals, they overcome the adversity once more, they're like, wait, what are y'all doing? This ain't part of the script. Like, no. Hey, Torben, get him out of here. No. We not gonna do this. They small market team.
Roger Goodell said, man, it seems awfully suspicious. It's crazy, man, because it's awfully awkward how once the Chiefs stormed on the scene, the AFC Championship trophy is named the Lamar Hunt Trophy. I wonder who Lamar Hunt is. Do you know?
I have a feeling you're going to tell me who.
He was the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Crazy, right? Mystical. Their success just happens to be sparked by Brady leaving the division, the AFC needing a new lead horse, and Patrick Mahomes storms the gates in his Trojan horse. It's wild, man. Now with his son, Clark Hunt, as the owner of the team, the ad revenue and people tuning in, it was almost like every time, the whistle was blown, every snap, you're like, damn, what the Bengals do this time? It just seemed like every time the whistle was blown, it was like, damn, bro, another stoppage.
Right.
I just want to watch a good football game.
The refs are human. Refs make mistakes, but not this game. I'm not giving them no benefit of the doubt. Not this one, because they were absolutely out of pocket because they obviously had an agenda. Like, there's no way that you can look at this game and not question, man, it sure seems like they want the Chiefs to win this game, doesn't it? Because it's like, go ahead.
Slightly off topic, almost like that Lakers Celtics game. I agree with what Anthony Davis said. Was it Anthony Davis or Pat Bev? He's like, these refs got to start getting fined, bro.
Yeah,
they gotta start something got to happen, bro. We got to start hitting their pockets too for all this bullshit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the truth. Clearly, Brown got hit. Clearly, he got fouled, but hey, they didn't want to call it. And then all you can say is, team, they did more than us. They prepared better than us, and that's bull. It's not right, because you you look at a situation like, say, for example, the Mavs in the Heat back in 06. Dwayne Wade got all these free throws, and we're just supposed to think like, oh yeah, like that's just how the game just played out. No, clearly I was calling everything for this man, and there's nothing that you could do because clearly they wanted him to win. It's stupid, you know.
It's rough, and like, of course, you know, you go to the locker room when you see the post game review, and you're like, yeah, the refs were bad, but we as a team need to do a better job. They get paid to do a job the same way Patrick Mahomes get paid to throw the ball, the same way Joe Mixon get paid to run the ball, the same way Jamar Chase get paid to catch a fucking football. They get paid to make the right calls.
We hate it because the player is put in the position where they have to say that cliche line or they'll get fined for questioning the validity of the ref. But at the end of the day, when you really look at it, when the game is tight and balanced, calls can determine and sway the outcome of the game. That's just the facts. That's the reality. When the calls are leaning more towards one team than the other, hey, there's a likelihood they're probably going to win. And guess what? Vegas had them as odds too.
Yep. The Bengals continue to get screwed. And the only way a small market team becomes a big market team is by continuously winning at the highest level. And the Bengals continue to attempt to do their part. But it's almost like the league's like, and not this time. Don't worry about it. We'll get you on the back end. And then the back end turns into this. And then it turns into this again. I don't know when this Phantom is going to leave them be and go find somebody else. I don't know what it is about these Ohio teams, bro, but they just can't get out they just forever going to be cast in the shade, man. Phantom Super Bowl calls, phantom crazy calls of AFC Championship games. I don't know, man. If the Bengals win the Super Bowl, they can say they won against all 32 teams in the NFL. They truly beat adversity. I will openly acknowledge, like I said, I've said the Bengals about 5 times a day. Truly acknowledge that if they win a Super Bowl, they've overcome all the backstops that there are. If they win a Super Bowl with Ron Torbert as the lead ref, I know something. I know scripted is and scripted does. I know that.
Bengals fans, if somehow you guys are able to win the Super Bowl at some point, take that mic, look it straight there and say, Ron Torbert. I gotta say his name right. This is just too much to overcome. At some point, even if you don't want to be that explicit, boo this man because he deserves to be booed because he is terrible and he's clearly going off the agenda.
Yeah, he needs to be working at a Walmart or something next year, calling college football games or something. Not meaningful ones either. I'm talking about like MAC games or something. Just send them to the pits of college football, bro.
Well, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. You guys drive us. You guys are the ones that kind of keep us going through this whole thing. So any information, any content, any comment, anything, it helps benefit us. But just remember, this is Don't Take Us Seriously. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.